Hey guys, this is the unit exam proportional relationships part 2 that I'm going to be reading to you, so pay close attention. Question number 16. An arts and crafts store sells sheets of stickers. Use the table below to determine whether the table represents a proportional relationship. So just remember on your table, this is the number of sheets, which would be your X, and the cost in dollars would be your Y. When you are checking on the whether or not these are a proportional relationship, you have to do Y's divided by X. Once you do that, you'll be able to see if all of these have the same constant of proportionality or the same number. So right here, you would explain, yes, this is proportional because they have the same unit rate or the same constant proportionality. They're the same thing. Or you would say, no, they are not. They don't have the same constant of proportionality. What is the constant of proportionality? So if all those numbers were the same when you divided them, that's the constant of proportionality. And then write an equation you can use to find the total cost Y in dollars for X sheets of stickers. So you would write Y equals whatever the constant of proportionality is, and then X. Okay, question number 18. Jeremy can row 3/8 of a mile. He's rowing 3/8 of a mile and in a quarter or 1/4 of an hour. What is Jeremy's unit rate in miles per hour? So they want miles on top, miles over hours. So you're going to put those using division in your calculator and write it down here. Once you figure out how many miles he can row in 1 hour, you can then figure out how long it's going to take him to row 6 miles. You can either add that number 6 times or it's repeated addition, so you can use multiplication. So whatever you get here, you can multiply by 6. Okay, next one. We have question number 17. Oh, I'm sorry, I just skipped. I did 16, 18. Sorry, now I'm going to go back up to 17. A stand at a farmer's market sells 3 brands of orange juice. Brand A contains 8 ounces and costs $1.32. Brand B contains 10 ounces and costs $1.78. And brand C contains 12 ounces and costs $1.86. So you have to find the unit price for each of these. Remember, you do money. I'm just going to write this just so you get a visual. Money divided by or money over ounces. OZ stands for ounces. So for each one of these, for brand A, brand B, and brand C, you're going to do money divided by ounces. Write down in the answer sheet or box, however you want to say that. Write down what their cost per ounce is. And then at the bottom for part B, you're going to write either A, B, or C. Which one is the best buy? That would be which one is the cheapest. So is it brand A, brand B, or brand C? All right, question number 19. A recipe that serves 4 people calls for 2¼ cups of butter. Use a proportion to determine how many cups of butter are needed to serve 10 people. Well, what you could do is this serves 4 people and it's 2¼ for 4 people. So you could figure out how much butter it would be for one person. So you first have to figure out the unit rate by doing this. Once you find out how much butter serves one person, you can then multiply by 10 to figure out how many cups of butter you would need. Make sure you show that work. Don't forget. All right, last page. We have question 20, which has multiple parts. It says use the graph below to answer the following questions. So you have rocket A, that's the solid line, and rocket B, which is the dotted line. Which rocket is traveling at a proportional speed, and how can you tell? Hint, hint. Remember, in order to be proportional, when you're looking at a graph, it has to go through the origin and it has to be a straight line. So just an FYI, you need to remember that and you can use that in your reasoning. So, which rocket is traveling at a proportional speed and how can you tell? Part B, find the constant of proportionality. So, whichever rocket is proportional, you have to pick a point. I would suggest picking a point that really intersects on a line easily, which I just picked one for you. So look at that. So remember, when you're looking at a graph, this is an x-axis and this is the y, and you always have to do y divided by x to figure out a constant of proportionality, right? Okay, C, write the equation. So you're writing y equals kx, but you have to fill in the constant of proportionality, which you would have found in part B. And then D, which point on the graph represents the constant of proportionality? Remember, the constant of proportionality would be like the unit rate per one. So it should be 1 on the x-axis. So you have to write it though. Whatever point you find, you have to write it like this. You're not writing exactly like me. You're actually, that's it. Oh my gosh. Sorry, let me fix that. That's an X. So this is how you have to write the point. So whichever point you choose, you're writing it X first and then Y. All right, and then lastly, what does the point 4 comma 60 represent in the context of the graph? So remember, this is the X 4. So you would go over 4. That means time after launch in seconds. After 4 seconds, the rocket is what height? That's exactly what you're going to write, but you're going to fill it in with the numbers. All right, and I'll read the bonus, but I'm not going to go over how to do it. That's you on your own. Dale bought a map of his city. It uses a scale of 1 inch to 8 miles. Dale's house and the school are 1.5 inches apart on the map. How far apart would his house and the school be on the map if the scale was 1 inch to 6 miles? Show all work for all credit. All right, guys. I hope you do a great job. Take your time, rewind me, rewatch me if you need to figure some of these things out. Use my hints, and you should do a pretty good job. Happy holidays. Catch you later. Oh, now hold on. I gotta stop this. Don't mind this awkward part of the video.